If you've been appointed as a personal representative to a probate case for either a deceased family member or as a trusted advisor on behalf of the family, I have 6 questions that you should be asking today. I'm Ed Zulovic. Here we unravel the probate process in an easy to understand language that you can use to guide you through this tedious role as a personal representative. If that sounds interesting to you, then consider hitting the subscribe bell so you know every time we post a new video. Today, I'm going to answer the top question we get from families every single week. I want to answer that one question along with the top 5 questions we get. So what is the number 1 question? Can a house be sold while in probate? The short answer is yes, but it's possible that the sales revenue won't be distributed in the exact way that you want. If a beneficiary was not named in a will, you as the executor of the estate may sell the decedent's real estate to help pay for the probate process. The probate court is going to divide any residual earnings among the beneficiaries after the residence is sold, and the sales proceeds are used to pay the probate fee and the estate obligations. The fair division of a person's property after death is known as probate. It could entail proving the legitimacy of a will, if there's even one, transferring the title to real estate, and identifying who is the rightful owner of the assets, like stocks, bonds, bank deposits, certain things that are not probated, and such as when the right of survivorship is present. For example, if a life insurance policy lists beneficiaries, or if a home has a shared owner, or if there's a promissory note with the remainder beneficiaries named. Second question, what should you do if you're going through a probate of a property? So there are several things that you need to take care of after someone you love passes away. So you don't have to feel completely overwhelmed. We actually have a very robust checklist that you should be using, and I will put that in the link below, so check that out. I know it might be scary to hear the term probate, but it's common knowledge that the procedure may be time-consuming and expensive, and if a living trust is not named for the deceased person's estate laws, probate may be used to handle this. So if you're in the middle of a probate process and you're asking if the sale of residence or real property can cover the expense, then the answer is absolutely yes. Number 3, does probate cost anything? First of all, it's critical to keep in mind that the judicial system is not free. Court expenses and fees must be paid when the court has a legitimate will to deal with. Probate procedure, however, can take longer if there isn't a will or if the validity of one that is there is contested. The administrative expense, it could be high. What's left over can be given to the estate's heirs and beneficiaries after the funeral cost, taxes, and other debts and obligations have been paid. In the absence of a will, state rules govern how the property is distributed moving forward. Even then, the real estate can be sold to cover the expenditures and the debts of the real estate. How should I pay the fees for probate? This procedure has a cost, as one might anticipate. You are authorized to sell personal property, and this includes real property as well, commonly known as real estate, that has not been left to a beneficiary as the estate's executor in order to pay the expenses. All earnings from the sale will first be used to pay the state's obligations and cost of the probate process. The remaining funds will be divided among beneficiaries by the probate court. Profits are calculated taking into consideration the state in which the property is situated. In cases where the deceased property is held by another jurisdiction, an ancillary administration takes place in addition to the state's probate process. Even when the probate procedure is still ongoing, a real estate agent can list the deceased real estate, a buyer may make an offer on that property, and the executor or the personal representative may accept it. This is permissible, and the conditions of the transaction must be reviewed and approved by the probate court. Number 5, who is eligible to receive funds from a probate process? So dealing with a loved one, it's terrible enough. Things get even more challenging with dealing with several parties vying for money from an estate. These parties include the appropriate state and federal tax agencies, funeral service providers, creditors who are collecting what they may be due, and others as well. The remainder is given to the heirs or the beneficiaries designated in the will once that is taken care of. If there's no will in place at the time of death, state law will decide how to divide up the estate. Number 6, what matters are involved in the sale of real estate while in probate. In this circumstance, jurisdiction might be unclear. The state in which the residence is located determines the probate procedure that applies to the property that you want to sell. In the event that the deceased owner's property is in another state, supportive administration is put into practice. Simply expressed, the probate process takes place in a jurisdiction where the property is situated. The location of your residence or the residence of the deceased is irrelevant to the court. And while this probate is ongoing, the executor or the personal representative, they are free to accept the purchase offer and sell the property if and only if they have the full authority as the personal representative to do so. If not, court supervision is required, which then the conditions of the transaction must also be approved by the probate court. So this includes an overbid process. The court must authorize the transaction in addition to proper filing with the court. And this procedure can take 60 days or so. However, it occasionally takes longer, and a conventional real estate agent may extend that period. One key factor to consider is often a burden of the family. The personal representative is responsible for covering the home's taxes, insurance, electricity bills during this protracted procedure. So basically all the holding costs for the estate, and not every real estate agent is experienced in this process. So definitely seek professional guidance. If you find this content useful, please hit the like button and give me a thumbs up. It helps us grow our following. And if you have any questions, please comment below, because it helps us come up with new content that's relevant that you're looking for. We have an extensive list of trusted estate advisors to help you keep the probate process moving forward. From estate planning, move out and junk removal, storage options for personal property, financial advisors, landscapers, and anyone else you may need. Just click the link below